Acknowledge receipt of the fiscal officer's September and October 2023 reports, subject to audit.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Next, as a routine matter, I move to adopt the attached resolution for advancement of funds from payment of the township's local taxes for the tax year 2023 from the county fiscal office to use the money for purposes of the 2024 calendar year expenditures.
Second?
It might, actually, those, though it says for the calendar year 23, we always use the calendar 23 assessed taxes in the following year, right?
Yeah, they're always collecting, even as we, as taxpayers pay significantly in arrears, so we collect in arrears as well.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded?
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Next, I move to authorize the administrative assistant to the Board of Trustees or the chair of this board to execute a purchase agreement for the purchase of real property identified as Summit County parcels 58-62341 and parcel number 68-05055 together, being approximately 18.374 acres for the total sum of $97,500 pursuant to the terms of the contract to be attached to these minutes. I will indicate that this is part of our effort to protect the lake from property that otherwise would be developed, causing further runoff of contaminants to our lake.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
And before we move on to the next one, Patty, can you make sure that comma is changed to a
I did.
period? Okay.
I did.
Want to make sure that's corrected in the minutes.
18 acres instead of 18,000.
Okay. I want to further indicate that we've made requests directed to Summit County that funds that would be allocated to Springfield Township for stormwater management. We have requested advancement of some of the funds to which we would be entitled so that that could be used as the funding, the basis of funding this purchase. And I have indication that it is likely that will be that grant that we've made, that is a request that we made, will be granted. Next, Mr. DeLauro, I think you have a matter for the road department.
Yes, I move to approve a resolution declaring it necessary to replace an existing 1.5 mil tax levy and request the Summit County Fiscal Officer to certify the current tax valuation of the township and the dollar amount of the revenue that would be generated by this replacement levy pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5705-192.
I would second that.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
And you have matters for the police department along a similar vein. These are motions to see what a tax levy, if put on the ballot, would, what kind of revenue would be received.
Correct, yes. For the police, I move to approve a resolution declaring it necessary to replace an existing 1.25 mil tax levy and request the Summit County Fiscal Officer to certify the current tax valuation of the township and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by that replacement levy pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5705.192.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. And I move to approve a resolution declaring it necessary to replace an existing 1.25 mil tax levy with an increase of 0.25 mil for a new 1.5 mil tax levy and requests the Summit County Fiscal Officer to certify the current tax valuation of the township and the dollar amount of the revenue that would be generated by that replacement levy pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5705.192.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes. And lastly, I move to approve a resolution declaring it necessary to replace an existing 1.25 mil tax levy with an increase of 0.5 mil for a new 1.75 mil tax levy and request the Summit County Fiscal Officer to certify the current tax valuation of the township and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by that replacement levy pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5705.192.
So all understand, once we find out, then there'll only be one levy that would be submitted to the.
Yes, sir. The levy this particular levy was approved by the taxpayers in 2019, and it runs through 2024. So we're at the point now where I'm proposing to the board that we ask the taxpayers for another levy, which will start in 2025 to keep the police department functioning at the services that we have right now.
Okay.
So this will give the board an opportunity of these three options, and then once we get the certificates back from the Summit County Fiscal Office, then the Board of Trustees can make a determination on which one they want to proceed with.
Okay, as that last motion, I second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman, you have a matter for the police department.
I move to accept funds in the amount of $24,531 from Spring Lake FOP Lodge Number 157 to be appropriated to Fund Line 2081-590-420-212 for the police drone program. This program is being funded by donations received from the citizens and local businesses in order to purchase a drone and the necessary training for their operation. This equipment will be utilized to increase the safety of the township, residents, businesses, and officers. And I want to give Ty Clapp a big attaboy. He really worked hard to get this money quickly.
Officer Ty Clapp approached me a couple months ago that he wanted to start a drone program, and he offered to work hard to get donations to fund the program so that the drone program is paid for from our budget. He's done a great job. He's worked hard, along with Ms. Chapman, to raise these funds for this program. Now that he's raised the money, the next step would be to purchase a drone, and these officers will have to go through a significant amount of training to be able to pilot the drone. So this is the first step in this program, but again, Officer Clapp did a great job fundraising for this. And we have a very generous community. And you know what? The citizens of this community and to the businesses in this community, for them to donate and support the police department and this program, it's a real credit to them.
Just for people's benefit, how will the drone be used? We've had explanation on this, but I think it's helpful knowing.
We've seen the advantage of a drone program from neighboring communities. We've used, Mogador has a drone that we've used out here. Metro SWAT has a drone that we've used out here. How will the drone be used? There's going to be a number of ways we can utilize this. Crime scene investigation is going to give us aerial photos and video of a crime scene from a view that we couldn't get from the ground. We'll use it for, if we have a major crash, we can use it for photos and an investigation for that crash. If we have a missing person, this drone will be able to detect heat, so like in a wooded area. So if we have a missing person or a missing child, we can activate the drone immediately in that area to try to look for that person. So I think it's one of those programs that other agencies are finding additional uses for it, and we'll do the same once we get the program up and running here. We're also planning on using it for the fire department. If they have a fire, the drone can easily see the roof of the building, so that keeps the firemen from putting themselves in harm's way, or we can get real-time video of what's going on in that situation. In the case of, like I said, like a fire or a missing person.
Okay, thank you. Did we have a motion and second?
Not a second.
I would second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman, you have a matter for the fire department.
I move to authorize the promotional appointment of Douglas Dunwald to the position of full-time fire medic effective November 27, 2023, contingent on the satisfactory completion of the physical examination required by the Ohio Police and Fire Disability Pension Fund, including the satisfactory completion of drug screening. The appointment will follow the terms and condition of employment as outlined in the current full-time firefighters collective bargaining agreement.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
Those are the matters that need our action tonight. I don't know if there's anybody here that desires to speak to us. If not, we're going to jump to some announcements. Since Leanne has given me the benefit of my cue card, I want to announce that the annual holiday lights display and Christmas tree lighting on the lake is now scheduled for Friday, December 1 at 6 p.m. The lighting will occur at the Vince Mealy Memorial Gazebo, and there will be music. Promise? Music? Great. Refreshments, and for those of you who are still wishful about what you'll get for Christmas, there'll be a visit with Santa Claus. Are there other announcements? Oh.
All right. So, Spectrum Channel 1023 is the Springfield Lakemore Community Channel. It's proud to serve the communities by providing access to our local government meetings, as well as programming and information of community events. Tune in to local Spectrum Channel 1023 for a selection of recent programming. To view our current program schedule, tune into the channel or go online to springfieldtownship.us. We're excited to announce that our trustees meetings are now broadcast live. So we're currently live on channel 1023, and we're running special programs of Springfield summer concerts. Also, community members may now access all current and past programming on demand via the new YouTube channel. Find it by searching Springfield Lakemore Community Channel on YouTube. Please let us know of any event or activity in the Lakemore and Springfield community that you would like to see showcased on the community channel. Remember, it's your channel, so please let us know how we can best serve you. The following programs are currently running on channel 1023. The Village of Lakemore Council meeting from October 2nd. The Village of Lakemore plants a tree from October 7th. Village of Lakemore Council meeting from October 16th. The Springfield School Board of Education meeting from October 17th. And the Portage Lake Community Center Board of Education meeting from October 19th.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. Mrs. Chapman, you have an announcement.
I don't know if anybody knew, we have yoga on Monday nights at the center on the lake. It's from 5 to 5:45. The cost is $1, and Betty Kern is putting this on. She's an excellent instructor. So if you guys would like to join me, I'll be there this Monday.
Oh, okay, great. Any other announcements from staff?
Would you like to explain this?
Yes, I can do that. We had an ongoing problems over on Beach Drive with an elderly female that there was just a real nuisance in the neighborhood. And this issue wasn't only affecting her, but it was affecting the other residents in that area. One of her grandchildren came in from North Dakota because there was such a problem over in that neighborhood. The police department responded numerous times to assist them to resolve that issue. It's since been resolved. She went back to North Dakota, and she made that for our officers to thank them for all their efforts resolving their nuisance problem over on Beach. So we'll hang that in our police department somewhere. She did a very nice job putting it together for us.
Thank you. I mean, expression of their appreciation.
On the back, it says, "Seems so small in comparison for all you do, but they come from the deepest parts of our hearts." Thank you.
That's great.
Our officers do a nice job out there, so it's nice to see that, getting them a recognition, them getting recognized is nice to see.
Okay, any other announcements? This is so much, these meetings are so much fun that we do it twice a month, and we do it on the second and fourth Thursday, but the fourth Thursday this year happens to be Thanksgiving, so please don't show up. But we will have a meeting, the
30th?
The 30th. So our second meeting in November will be November 30th. Unless something comes up that we have a special meeting, in which case it'll be an announcement.
And also with Vicki being here from the Women's Club, I wanted to tell everybody that they did a tree this year for Children's Hospital. And it was an animal rescue tree, and it's so cute. I'm going to call and buy it. Thank you, ladies.
What's that? Yeah, there'll be a workshop next week, I think. Yeah, there will be. Don't you require Becky to speak?
Is that at the Night Center?
Yes.
The trees
It's
are
the
at the night
cutest tree I have ever seen. It's really, they did a nice job.
We should pull up a picture
I think everybody should pitch in and get it for me.
and get it from you. Okay.
Do they put a price? It's auctioned.
Yeah,
Is that how it
no,
works?
it's,
It's a silent bid.
oh, it
Okay.
is?
They sell them on the Friday night before, then they open it up to the public that Saturday.
So I have to remember when the tree displays are, do you know?
November 11th through
Oh, that's tomorrow.
the 19th.
Yes.
Saturday.
Saturday. I think Friday's a gala or something like that, correct?
Yeah.
I think it's, I know it starts the 11th because we're going this Saturday.
Okay.
It's really
Really? You gotta do that.
Okay, there being no other announcements and no one wishing to speak to us, there's a matter that we have to consider in executive session, a personnel matter, and to comply with the law. I would move that we go into executive session for purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee, or other terms and conditions of their employment. The session to include the Board of Trustees, its administrative assistant, and other department heads as called upon by the board. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Chapman?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. DeLauro?
Yes.
And congratulations to Mr. Spicker, who will be with us for the immediate future. Okay.
Creek don't.
Otherwise, our meeting, we don't.
We won't be coming back with any motions. No motions.
No motions.
So this will be the end.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
Get your